I love how they have to have this disclaimer right here. Even if based on proven medical knowledge from 1918, Vampyr sometimes takes liberties when establishing possible links between scientific theories and supernatural creatures. For theatrical purposes, of course. In other words, do not try to cure any disease with any of the recipes shown in this game. And no rats were harmed in the making of this game. I mean, it makes sense, you know, you're making quotes cures for like headaches and other things, so you don't want people to be like, oh, I can cure your headache, let me just combine a couple of things. Here we go. That's the button I was looking for.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town?
My
name's Clayton Darby.
Clayton?
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I'd gladly help.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Deadly diseases?
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
The glorious British Empire.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth.
Glorious!
I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Yes, we must tell the story.
It's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Is the public interested? Not at all!
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
My God! Oh, that's all. Goodbye, Darby.
Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Darby, that's the name of my parents' dog. She's a good doggy.
Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty.
Give her a bottle, she'll be nasty.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Rawr. I usually
Christina, have you been
get paid
examined? The epidemic is
when I
spreading
open
fast
my
in
mouth.
London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Why this skepticism?
How can you
A
speak
cheap
about
fuck.
starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
She's got a point.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Crăciunescu.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
You can tell just how forward-thinking they're trying to make this game right now.
Good evening, Kristen.
Change you.
Because
Do you need any
It depends.
I don't have it.
I will see. Goodbye.
But like if you think about it, the fact that she is, you know, a hooker, and our character's just like, you know, it's not the worst. You know, you could make a worse decision. You know, not judging her for the fact that it's 1918.
It's locked.
You still want more from Christina?
When we spent the night together, my wallet went missing.
Are you calling me a thief? I don't have your stupid wallet.
I know you. You're a nice girl. Can't we solve this amicably?
No, I don't think so. And if you think you know me just because we share the bed together, you're just a lousy and arrogant journalist.
That's off. A lousy and arrogant journalist. Argument with your girlfriend.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me, Clayton, do you really think this young woman stole your wallet?
Christina. Yes. I recently met her. A nice girl, despite her questionable conduct.
Questionable conduct.
How exactly did you meet Christina?
During my investigation, I offered my hotel room to her to rest and get away from the street.
And what happened?
The next morning, my wallet and my watch had disappeared. I suppose that's what you get for being a good Samaritan.
A good Samaritan?
If you are going to sleep with a lady of the night, Clayton, I would advise you to be cautious.
I can't really be mad at her, though. She's just trying to survive. She doesn't have many options.
So why go and yell at her?
Was it wise to become so intimate with a woman you were supposed to interview, Clayton?
Maybe it was. But I have learned to look for the inner truth and beauty in people.
He went really inner.
I know more than enough to understand your situation. For a reporter, you certainly lack impartiality.
I would have expected more open-mindedness from an educated man like you, Dr. Reed. If you have no further wisdom to impart, I shall take leave.
No, we failed a hint. Bullshit. Oh well.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work.
Lame.
Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Still a little annoying that we lost
Hi,
that.
Mr. Darby.
Because it is the right choice, you know. He lacks impartiality. Like, 100%. What do we have in terms of medicine, by the way? Medicine. We don't have anything for fatigue or cold. We need 2 fatigues.
Good evening.
Change.
Did you steal Clayton Darby's wallet? Tell me the truth, Christina.
Of course I stole it. But I never thought he would come back to look for it.
Why did you do it? He seems to trust you.
For a time I thought he was different from other men. In the end, he just wanted to sleep with me. Same as the others.
Same as the others.
Perhaps Clayton is different. Maybe you two should talk. A conversation couldn't hurt.
I know what I am and what people call me. I sleep with men for money. If I can accept that, why can't he? No. My future is with the ones I love, not with Clayton Darby.
The ones you love. The money you stole is not for you, then?
My brother is still in our hometown in Romania. I am the only one who can buy him a ticket to England.
Tell me, Christina, is it worth risking your health and your life for your brother's safety?
He's the only family I have left. I had to leave Romania without him. I can't be happy until he is near me again.
I understand your concern. I spent many months away from my family when I served on the front line in France.
Every time I write to him, I fear I won't receive an answer. It kills me to know he is still there.
I'm sure your brother is capable of doing this himself. It doesn't justify the loss of your dignity.
You think you know it all because you fought in the war. But my brother is no soldier.
I know. We all understand the risks to soldiers, but we don't necessarily recognize the civilian casualties caused by these conflicts.
Yes. Wars are decided by rich men who will never take the risk of being shot, raped, or maimed.
Shot,
Does your brother
raped,
know
or
what you
maimed.
do to earn the money to bring him here?
Don't be simple, of course not. And he must never know. Everything will be different once he is here with me.
Doubtful on that one, Captain.
Goodbye, men.
Okay. Why these custom markers keep showing up, I will never know, but whatever. Alright. Let's track this. Because we can't do this one, because we require a higher level, mesmerize. We must go save Samuel. And murder the crying baby.
Step away, sir. Don't come closer!
Seems to be stuck. This game has clearly defined boundaries that the NPCs do not want to surpass. And it's beautiful. Just being able to exploitation things. Bum, bum. It's not a glitch, it's an exploitation. There's a difference. Really? What's the difference? I'm doing the exploitation on purpose? Yeah, but you glitch on purpose. You know what? Shut up, me. Nah, we're not breaking the game in any unintentional way. I'm just exploiting what the game already does. Which is be really bad. I mean, what? Ah! Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Okay, so there are several things we're looking for, and I won't tell you what they are until we find them. But to get the legendary weapon in this game, it requires us to... We require 6 collectibles, which are determined by random. And several other things. Remember that. Good timing. Murder. I
Somebody help! What do you want? Somebody help! What do you want?
It is okay, wait till later. Later.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds.
They
in
wanted
the
to
epidemic.
kill me.
They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
Xiaoshun. Well, okay then. Goodbye, Xiaoshun. Bum.
Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the bodies, I wonder? This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
Oh, I thought that was something I could pick up. Lol.
As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word.
Personal diary. Father Whitaker is so righteous, so full of compassion and love for the suffering. His words are all the city needs. Tonight I gave him all I have. My strength, my faith, my wealth, and if it is not enough, I know where to find more. Father Whitaker and I went to an abandoned house near St. Mary's Church. It was an awful and smelly place. Rats were disputing the rooms to the last remaining residents of the decrepit flats. Most of them must take awful odors. On the last floor, Father Whitaker found an old man lying on a dirty mattress, coughing and spitting blood in a wooden bowl. Father Whitaker knelt before him and prayed a long time. The man seemed to feel better. We both helped him find the light. I cried then, and I cried now as I write these lines, for I have never seen a full soul so relieved to have finally be redeemed. Father Whitaker is a saint. If it's not presumptuous nor a sinful expression of pride, I wish I'll be able to save as many souls as he does, for it's a real privilege to witness such miracles. October 19th. Tonight we both went to the whorehouses boarding the canal. I must admit I was very afraid to cross the path of Jezebels, but the buildings were abandoned for a long time. Whores and infections go together, explained Father Whitaker, but their customers quickly get scared when there is mention of disease. In the last brothel, found 2 sick women sleeping together in a sinful attitude under dirty blankets. The odor was awful once more, the smell of Satan and of the disease, explained Father Whitaker. Before kneeling and praying for these 2 lost souls, the women were so frail and sick they were not able to move when I threw the petrol on the blankets. Their souls are now cleansed and purified. Father Whitaker is a saint, and won't let anyone mock the holy man he is. He shall receive more help and support. But as all the true prophets, he is alone. He needs more from his followers. He needs love and proof of love. Tomorrow I shall go back to the cemetery and unearth more wealth for him. The dead have no need of the terrestrial goods, but we need to eat, Father Whitaker and I. Tonight, for the first time, it was my turn to lead the round. I chose to return where we went 10 days ago to see if any more souls needed to be freed. Father Whitaker approved my choice, as the good man's work is never finished, and Satan never sleeps, he explained. He also said if I keep showing so much zeal, he may soon give me more important missions and tasks. I can't wait. 3 more souls have been cleansed from any corruption tonight. If it's not presumptuous nor a sinful expression of pride, I dare say we are on a path to greatness. So basically, they were burning the sick and stealing from the dead. He's killed several sick people in his attempt to free the world. Stop toying with my food. This is why I hate Blinker Skulls! Fucking bitches! They teleport so much, and because of that, you can't hit them with anything. They, quote, resist it. So basically, you're SOL. I need to get up there. We'll probably come to this area around chapter 4 again, for reasons. Right. It's not the easiest gameplay either. But it's both simplistic and kind of meh.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help?
Do you need a...
That would be nice of you.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
But I think we mostly play most of our games
Goodbye, Mr.
specifically for the story. And less about the actual gameplay, you know.
Good evening.
Shane,
Do you need any...
it...
I'm shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with...
Of course.
Goodbye.
Let's see. You're recovering. You've got a migraine. We do have the treatment for it. We have to find Benjamin. We can't get to you. Nithacot. Do we have treatment for a cold? Two. I know where Nithacot is, actually.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Good evening, Mr. Whittaker.
It's Father Whittaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Are you still
I
lost in
have
your
found
rational
Samuel, your
delusions?
disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
Please accept this money.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
A
This
laughing
epidemic
queen.
is her feast, the
Dressed
announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
Babylon, drunk on the saints.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Uh-huh.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
During this endless night.
I have heard enough.
Okay, we're done with you. Your precious Samuel is dead. Now we gotta go talk to this dude, give him his cold medicine. Ah, that's bullshit.
Good evening. And good evening. Do you need... I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more...
I bet you are
The nutrition
excited
of
for
my mind
spooky
is more
season.
important than my physical health, but I appreciate your concern, sir.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious
He's got the
Corellia.
face of a Shrek.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
Right?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
What do you mean, the one that's coming out soonish?
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave.
Okay, now we gotta go find the other dude. Don't you hate it when you're accidentally running and you just kind of break tombstones with your feet? Like, nonchalantly, like, oops, my bad. Sorry about your tombstone. Well, if you ever figure out the name of it, please let me know.
This district seems to get uglier every year.
Loretta. These guys are over here. There you are, Benjamin.
Good evening.
On the front.
You don't seem.
Oh.
I don't have the migraine medicine. Damn
I
it.
will. I got.
Sorry, sir. I will not bother you again.
This elixir will give you faith again.
No, it won't. Snake oil. Okay.
It's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
It's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Oh, Control, the game about the supernatural shits. Yes, yes. I would love to play that game again. Or, well, I'd love to play that game. I wouldn't necessarily call it spooky, per se. Yeah, it's definitely supernatural. Less spooky. More super. Damn it, Darby, where are you?
Would you like me to?
of your home will not protect you.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an
It's because of the supernatural element.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He ripped it up and threw it away.
Do you know that Christina is hoping to pay for her brother to travel to England in the near future?
I see. No, she didn't tell me that. But that explains many things.
Do you believe she will ever see her brother again?
As long as the war rages in Europe, I'm afraid her chances of seeing her brother again are slim to none.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Would you like me to?
So we start at one end, and now we work our way inwards. Actually, let's talk to Nethercott while we're over here too. Dear Mr. Nethercott, thank you for sending your book of poems, Songs from the Defeated City, which we found as interesting and profound as we told you the first time received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such a title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change your title and demand the full publication or none of your work, I'm sorry to announce you that Psychofan Publishing chose the second option. Oofies!
Good evening.
And good evening to you.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Oof.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Mediocre writing skills?
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Now we must find the mailbox. My dearest, most beloved children, I'm so sorry that you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
More leverage.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You played for peace.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Potter.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Dorothea. Immediately walks in and robs the man blind. No, that's not what we just got. We got something new. This one? No. Maybe we didn't get something new there then. Oh well.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
This little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area. Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too.
If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
A very poor writer.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
I appreciate your
This war
trust.
won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
You know what I just realized? Last of Us 2. Dishonored. Vampyr. All games about plagues, epidemics, outbreaks. And we're all playing it right around the exact same time. I feel like there was another game I wanted to mention. Well, anyway, that's just something I happened to notice.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
Darius.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. But I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor. It must be my lucky day.
Free drugs from an English doctor. I don't know if we can get the good end with her. Letter to Next Queen, my dear Dorothea. When you read this letter, I will be on a boat that will take Anton and me back to Brasov. England was not for us, and I must confess I cannot wait to see again the proud hills of Transylvania. As soon as we are there, I promise I'll light a candle in the Black Church and pray for you to survive this terrible epidemic. Know that you do not agree with this decision, and that you are determined to be more useful by helping our comrades exiled in the East End. But Anton cannot wait to return to our beloved country and see our long-awaited revolution bloom. He is my husband. I will stay by his side. I know we had our arguments and our fights. I know you will have wanted me to stand by your side and help you manage this clinic of yours, but now that I'm leaving England, be assured that if anything would happen to you, if you were ever in great trouble or danger, I will come back immediately to London, with or without Anton. Please think of me as much as I think of you. I am your affectionate sister.
Give me a break!
Razvan, can you hear my voice?
Razvan! Murder. You just walk around down here and just chop everyone's throats.
I need help!
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
Oh right, I did that the first time too.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could? Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure.
I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Blip, 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 blip.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Oh good, new citizens can be murdered.
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
This one stinks already. Watch yourselves! Stop it, Leech!
There we go.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in. Yes?
Yes.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
So I think the only way to get
It's
into
locked,
that
alright.
is to actually kill Petrescu, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so, what kind of side missions can we do? Can't do anything with that right now. Ah, that's all the way over there. Yeah, that is the best way to go. Cute.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy! Cross the leech, boy! Let's see how it likes a bit of fire! Die, Cross the leech, boy!
There we go. Absolutely prude. Dark Souls Vampire Edition. Honestly, that's the best description I've heard of this game. And it is true 100%. But damn it, this game isn't good.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
It needs water. Yeah, we'll get to that at some point. Damn it. The worst part is, like, we now have the stuff needed to give him his medicine. Right, we did get the headache medicine, right? Migraine, 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 migraine. Well, at least we cleared out everything on the way, so. Ah, that's why this area seems so familiar.
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Alright. Where's this bro? There you are. Mr. Palmer!
Good evening. You don't seem...
There you go.
I'll try to help your body heal, sir. But you must stop destroying it.
The war destroyed me, Doctor.
The war destroyed me. Doctor. Alright, now we go...
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley written worse than a week.
to Mortimer Goswick's place. Let's see. Prude, you weren't around last week when we asked, but what's your preference? Werewolves or vampires? If you have one. And why?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like...
Wise choice. Is this supposed to be an hospital?
My dear mother, when you find this letter, I'll be gone. I want you to know that I don't leave because of you. I leave this world because of the crushing weight that existence puts upon me. These times are too much for me. Sometimes I feel like Baudelaire's verses have been written as an echo from my own heart, when the low, heavy sky weighs like a lid upon the spirit aching for the light, and all the wide horizon's line is hid by a black day sadder than any night. It's as beautiful as it is painful, Mother. I can't suffer it anymore. I don't want you to try to convince me, and it would only delay the inevitable. For I would do it again if by any chance you managed to save me once. Farewell.
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
Well, guys, what do we do?
It's locked.
Do we give the letter to Mortimer? Or do we give the letter to his mother? I know where this is. That light sucks, though. Don't remember.
It's in me! Kill it! Get your weapons ready! We found one!
You want to betray Mortimer's trust, but doing so would also encourage him never to come forward in the future. It also might make him kill himself sooner, too. Because then his mother becomes overbearing. I'm the devil's advocate. You're gonna make a decision and I'm gonna argue it. Actually, hold on. We can do... Fuck it. Let's do this one too. The argument against giving to him is he clearly said that even if he gets stopped, he's going to do it again in the future, so there's no point in trying to stop him.
It ain't human!
Oh. Ordered by Dr. Thoreau Strickland, Pembroke Hospital. Lacria papyrus, opium, sodium hypochlorite, and potassium permanganate.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
You never acknowledged my argument against it, Emotive. Was it just too good? I'm assuming it's a cat. It's about the only acceptable distraction unless it's a pizza. Which is the more acceptable distraction.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Oh, rich,
I have
vibrant
made
blood.
inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward.
You have served me well, mortal.
Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind.
She gives us blood.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes, and it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
Before this island even had
Tell
a name.
me, Thelma.
Thank you.
Why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
I'm not that cruel.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
But I am a vampire.
I'll leave you.
How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month?
Good evening, Doctor.
And good evening to...
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous,
Speak
but I'm just following
thoroughly.
your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
You have my support, Dr. Strickland. I know exactly what it feels like to battle an unknown disease with only your mind and force of will to help you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You don't know what that means to me.
You have now doomed the entire island to death.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Ryan Goslick?
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now, please, let me be.
find your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really. It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
Don't you see how lucky you are? You're rich, you're in good health, and you have a loving mother. You're simply drowning in self-pity.
Leave me alone then, Doctor, and let me drown myself.
See, I hate some of these lines because, like, it doesn't feel like that's what's going to be said. Like, that's not the kind of thing you say to them. But no, the game doesn't really tell you what you're gonna say to them until you already say it, and then you're just like, well, fuck you too, game.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
Alright. Do we report him to Dr. Ackroyd? Or do we give the medicine to Strickland? Do we help somebody who's trying to, you know, fight this disease and make everything better? Or do we stop it cold in its tracks? We're gonna help him? Alright, we're giving it to Thoreau then.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive? Or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
Okay.
Goodbye,
Okay, it's upstairs. That's what I thought.
It's locked, all right. At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula. It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Formula. M. Goswick's medical file. Extreme fatigue, major soreness in the throat, mouth, and tongue, but no signs of fluid, refuses to speak, claims it's too painful, needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision can be made concerning his release? Question mark? Letter to Dr. Swansea. Dr. Swansea. Might the actual urgency of the sanitary situation was forming a freezing case of professionalism, misconduct, Nurse Gwen Brannigan has been found guilty of undeniable unprofessional conduct and thus guilty of endangering a patient. He's saying a woman can't diagnose a patient and administer medicine. Now, it's less nurse, more of woman, but, you know, that's really what he's getting at. A woman can't do that. Yeah, bullshit.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
Jonathan.
No need to apologize, my lady. I know exactly what you endure.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
It is my panties.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stone?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
A mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
Gutter scowl?
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then.
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
27.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal...
It's a freight age, I agree. It is very freight.
He left this isle a long time ago.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but... are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution. And I'm no fool.
And I'm no fool.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
A vampire? Is that what I am?
Exactly. Hang on.
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hags. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
An Ekon?
You an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires. But all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society. And like all the best ones, a secret society.
Only the secret ones are the good ones.
But it seems they have been recruiting.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Ekon.
Immortals are of a and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That's a good phrase.
From experience.
Even a shark smiles.
Politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
I bid you farewell. For now, my lady.
I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Likewise,
Give me your gun. I'm not gonna use it, but give it to me. Because it's an achievement to collect everything. And I never actually collected every weapon. We'll try this time, but I doubt we'll get it. Because honestly, I focus in on certain weapons. So you probably noticed at this point, yeah?
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scowls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Causes and effects. This is one of the 6 we need.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
Smashing?
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
I admit it did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
I totally agree. We're in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
It's about your sister. She is to be buried this evening.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
I swear, Mary. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Oh, how the weather flows. Did I do it right? I don't remember the phrasing.
Did you hear me? Over there!
It's locked, all right.
Oh, how does your guarding, bro? I was close with blow. With civil bells and cockle shells. And pretty maids all in a row. You can already feel the difference. Well, I can feel the difference. You can already see the difference in, like, fighting and how well I'm able to kill things now that we actually upgraded our items. We are a more effective murderer now. What was that rhyme even for, by the way? Yeah, like, every nursery rhyme, you know, kind of had a purpose, you know, it was, you know, reciting something. You know, Hey Diddle Diddle, I believe, had a, like, a meaning, not a purpose. I guess meaning's the better word for it. Huh. See? Fun facts. Thank you, Emotive. Mary, Queen of Scots. Yeah, that's the one I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with the Queen of Scots. Ooh, what's the 18th century version? Please share with the class. Sing cuckolds all in a row. Ah, so Mistress Mary's got some cuckolds, eh? That one.
Best be off home. Step away! He's
At some point, I'll memorize like where everything is on my stream deck. At some point. But that point is not today.
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Okay. So before we do this, I'm gonna save us some time if I actually remember to do it. There I am. So we're actually opening a shortcut now to avoid a lot of fighting to get one place to another. The only thing I dislike is this fucking light. Like, I hate those flashing lights like that. It's so annoying.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength. Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Look at that multi-layered umbrella.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
One thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
I wish the tears would come. But I'm empty. And I feel a hypocrite.
Let your pain run free, Jonathan. Don't smother it. What you feel is your humanity. Don't be so quick to lose it.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
I'm not a religious man. You should know that.
This is not about you forgiving yourself. This is for her.
I'm not
This
a
is you telling
religious
Mary how sorry you are.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess. Ba-ba-bum!
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
Oh, so they turned a monkey. A gorilla.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
It was a gorilla.
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Best be moving on. Stop! Right now!
We just skirt around them.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She has been laid to rest. That's all you need to know.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
And he doesn't question the fact that you just said you murdered somebody.
Is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all. Remember you. Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
You selected me. Chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage
nothing to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
He was made of jello.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel and behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Like I said, shortcut. So if we had gone the normal way, we would have had to go from here, all the way through 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 there. Fights here, fights here, fights here, fights here, fights here. And instead we did that. If all the enemies respawned, this has about half the amount of fights.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Please, of course.
Jonathan, my sincere condolences for your loss.
Your kindness is much appreciated, my lady.
Is there anything you require?
I spied my mother at the funeral. Have you ever revealed yourself to a member of your family?
No, Jonathan. And I'd advise you even from thinking about it.
Are we then condemned to lie to those we love?
We are creatures of deception, my friend. But this is more for their sake.
Oh, then I should be a vampire.
But what if I was close to someone and wished to tell them the truth?
Fear, loathing, disgust. And then they will plead to be turned. They will see it as salvation. Then there's the risk of gaining the attention of vampire hunters.
Are we condemned to attend the funerals of all we love?
Dying is the final act of life, Jonathan.
Only for 100, yes.
Present company excluded. Accepted.
I don't know what to expect. Am I cursed to an eternity of solitude?
With time, we Ekon tend to go into isolation. If we survive long enough, that is.
If we survive.
As a practitioner of the medical sciences, I'm prepared for the death of loved ones. But mourning in the shadows, deprived of sharing one's grief.
We are no longer a part of the circle of life and death. We are undead, my friend, and so we are outcasts.
Goodbye, my lady. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but well, maybe it was him.
Goodbye, now.
Well, something happened here.
If there's...
Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
I'd like...
Wise choice, Doc.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Discuss every street corner. The daily routine.
Well, that's a bit of blood. Well, she was a nasty old coot anyway. Insufferable. We're just looking around for collectibles and things. Look at that. We have a reflection. Trivia question for you. If a vampire in the past were to look in a mirror, would they see themselves?
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Specifically in the past.
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now.
Okay, well let me ask the same question, but slightly different.
She died.
Would a vampire today look in the mirror and be able to see their reflection?
Goodbye for now, Mr.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
You always knew the words to calm the children.
A vampire in the olden days would look in a mirror and not be able to see themselves. However, a vampire in modern times would be allowed to look in the mirror and see themselves. Because back in the day, mirrors were lined with silver. And silver is considered a pure metal. As such, a vampire would not be seen reflected upon that pure metal due to the impurity of the creature they had become. Nowadays, mirrors have aluminum.
I cannot enter.
No, it is about vampires. At the exact same time. So what do we need for this? We need tiny good handle parts. Specifically blue tiny good handle parts.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan.
Leave him, Jonathan.
Ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned.
I wonder how he can tell.
By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
I believe that's the common assumption, because if you really think about it, vampires have started being reflected in mirrors a lot more in more recent things, and I think that's because of the purity of the silver mixed in with the mirrors back in the day versus now.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became
right.
beast than man.
Well, I mean,
and now Guard
it's
of
fiction,
Cleveland
so nothing is
of vampire
fact.
Activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Do you really believe they would come for us here? In such a public venue?
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
I will put an end to Sean Connery Hampton.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Hey, Doc. What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out in my sleep. I found myself a nice play, Doc. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'll leave.
Is this supposed to be an hospital?
Mr. Cox. So we're gonna get
It
a
seems the
lot
Freemen
more.
are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
Please, sir. I can't let you through. Easy. I shall fear no evil. We cannot be.
That's a powerful light, yo. So, I should probably talk about something I'm doing. So, as you can tell, we've got 5,000 experience that we could spend on skills. However, to do that causes the day to pass. And when the day passes, people can get sick. People can get, injured. And then everybody I helped take care of, I'll have to go do it again to other people.
It's an elite kill.
Exactly. To me, unless I'm desperate for some, like, if I'm getting my ass kicked repeatedly and I need it, then yeah, I'll go do it. I just would rather, wait as long as possible, spend all of my stuff at once, and then go level up, type of deal. Because, as you can tell, we don't fight that often.
Hello again, Mr.
Yes, this...
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No.
It is.
Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
These fucking wankers.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital. I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Makes me feel like I'm
Tell me
suffocating.
about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
with it my own way.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about is their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Chemicals and death.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during the shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc. You're really good.
Go on, please. Tell me more about it.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Could you imagine?
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. The terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end.
During a vacation with my family, we took a tour of a mine tunnel.
Mr. Thatcher.
And once we were pretty deep in, where you couldn't see like outside,
just for a few more days,
and they turned off the lights.
I thought about killing Newton, killing and eating him, the man I fucking love.
Tell me about your true
It was
feelings
terrifying.
for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
I love him.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I'm certain you have your reasons. But let me assure you, I'm not like other doctors you may have.
I love how they're always like...
It is true. You risked your life to save me, after all. It would be impolite to refuse your counsel.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm
eternally grateful, Doctor.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Bloody nightmare.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we were in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
Twice.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher?
Oswald Thatcher.
Aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
If people find out. Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, I never thought I'd love a man.
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love or how you should love them.
I appreciate your kind words, sir. But it ain't that easy. It's all so new to me.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
A week.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see? Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
I mean, I can see that.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. Couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Could you imagine that?
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Fucking vermin gnawing at my fingers, my ears, my lips. Every time I dozed, I lost a bit of skin. I lost a bit of meat. Okay, so what do we have to handle over here? No, we need 1 fatigue, but we haven't... Look how many people we haven't met. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We haven't met 12 people there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We haven't met 28 people. Alright, I think this is a good stopping point before we head for the sad saint of the East End. I would say we're probably 25% of the way through this game. Probably, yeah. Because we've taken care of the Whitechapel area. You know, we've solved the issue. Basically, we handled the pillar. And this next section, we're going to focus on solving the pillar here at the docks. And then after that, it's going to be about the pillar here at the unknown West End district. And then, of course, we're constantly handling this. So, yeah. We're going to leave it off right there. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in about an hour. So, yeah. Until the next time, everybody. Stay funky, people.